Hello, welcome back to 7.4, where we're introducing the ideas of the properties of logarithms. So we did the product property and the quotient property. Both of those are based on properties of exponents that are also called the product property and quotient property. This one is called the power property, and it's based on this idea. So if I have, for example, 5 to the third power, and I raise that again to, like, say, we'll just keep it easy, to the fourth power, then this becomes 5 to the 3 times 4, 12th power. So I'm going to multiply my exponents. Remember that the logarithm is the exponent. So if I did something like this, log base 5, we'll just keep it simple, of 5 to the third power, and then raise that again to the fourth power. I should have put the 4 inside there, sorry. That's the same as log base 5 of 5 to the 12th power, which of course equals 12. This is saying 5 to what power equals 5 to the 12th power? 12. But here's what we're getting to. Let's say that I don't know what this is, this 5 to the third power. Let's say I do this. Log base 5 of, I'll just make up a number, 17, and then say to the fourth power. 5 to the third power is not 17. I'm just totally picking something completely out of the blue. I don't know 5 to what power equals 17. I don't know what that is. In the next video, we're going to figure that out. Okay? But I do know that if I did have that exponent, I would multiply it by the 4. So I can write this 4 times log base 5 of whatever 17 is. Or any number. It doesn't matter. It's just, if I pick a number where it works, like I did at the first step, it kind of like loses its mystery a little bit. Okay? So here's what the power property actually means. If I take log with a base of anything, it doesn't even have to be something easy like 5 and 17, anything that's raised to a power, it's the log of using that base to the a times whatever the exponent is. So one thing that we kind of explain is that we take that exponent and we just move it to the front. And that's why I got it right there. And they didn't give enough room. We should put a dot right there. Right? Why do we move it to the front? Because people leave off the parentheses. Like we said, I know that this times that is the same as that times that. That's a commutative property. But it's just one of those things where we clean it up. It's like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like when we talk about radicals, and we always, if we multiply a radical, we always put the number that I multiply by out in front, like 2 times the square root of 3. We don't do square root of 3 times 2 because of formatting. It's just formatting. That's all. Okay. So let's do a couple of problems. We'll show you that this is actually relatively safe. Okay. And again, dang, I totally forgot to put my parentheses around here. I'll do this all real quick. That one's good. That one's good. Here's all that you do. Take the exponent, write down the exponent, put a time sign in there. I'm going to use a dot, don't use X. And then I'm going to write log base 3 of 81. That's it. That's the product. That times that. Simplify if you can. Well, 3 to what power equals 81? 3 to the fourth power equals 81. So this becomes 2 times the exponent. Remember, the logarithm is the exponent. 4, which equals 8. Now this one's kind of nice because 81 is also a power of 3. I could have done the same thing, and I hesitate to actually write this, but I could have done the same thing if I had done log base 3 of 3 to the fourth power to the second power. So since the logarithm is the exponent, 4 times 2 is 8. This would have still equal 8. That 2 times 4 comes from that 2 times 4 right there. All right, let's do this one. So I'm going to take my exponent. I'm going to move it into the front and write log base 5 of 1/5. That's my product. First step says do it as a product. So I got that. Next step, simplify. So let's think about this. 5 to what power equals 1 over 5? That's the classic reciprocals. So this is 3 times -1, which is going to equal -3. Now we're using this to demonstrate the property, but again, I could have done it this way. If my purpose was just to simplify, I have multiple paths to do that. We are taking this time to learn about the product, the property, sorry, the product property, but to learn about the property. But this one actually would have been nice because I would have had 5 to the -1 power to the 3rd power. And I multiply -1 times 3, and that's what gives me my -3. All right, let's try this one. This is my common logarithm, so my base is 10. My exponent is 4. This is 4 times log of 10. So I'm practicing the property. This is my something times something, my product. So 10 to what power equals 10? That would be 1. This is 4 times 1, which equals 4. And again, I can cross-check this. This is saying 10 to what power equals 10 to the 4th power? Well, that's 4. Let's try this one. Sorry, I got something in mind. I'm going to take my exponent, and I'm going to multiply that by log base 5 of 25. So there's my first step, write it as a product. Now I'm going to simplify. 5 to what power equals 25? That would be the 2nd power. 5 squared equals 25. And 2 times 2 equals 4. So again, this one would have been 5 to the 2nd power to the 2nd power, and 2 times 2 is that 2 times 2, which equals 4. And then we'll squeeze one more in here with this fraction. This is 5 times log base 2 of 1/2. And 2 to what power equals 1/2? That would have been -1. So 5 times -1 equals -5. Now, all of these problems, and in picking the problems that I was gonna do for the video, I'm using the examples from the book, obviously. All right. When we get to the, I hope, if I remember right, when we get to the problems that are in the guided practice, we may not always be able to simplify this. If possible, we may not always be able to simplify it. But the main idea that we want you to get away from here, get out of this stuff, is that whatever the exponent is on the number that's you're taking the logarithm of, that's what you multiply by the logarithm without the exponent. So it's just kind of like, I took the 2 and I moved it out in front. I took the 4 and I moved it out in front. All right, we'll see you in the next video.